Now, when we talk about the requirement of IBC, why this IBC actually came into the force. Previously, we were having number of laws which were actually dealing with all these stressed assets. Like SARFAESI was there. I know most of you must be doing the valuation for the banks, which is covered under SARFAESI, under different RBI guidelines were there for restructuring the stressed asset. Then there are other laws like um, financial institutions, recovery of debt due to financial institution act was also there. So these all laws were there which aimed to serve the financial creditors or the creditors of other classes as well in terms of the distressed asset. But one way or other, each of this law led to the liquidation of those assets, right? So there was a stressed entity, the creditor or the financial institution which has lended to it. They took some step and finally that resulted into the end of the entity. That means you can say the death of that entity. Because once a liquidation is done, there is no more in existence. But then a need was felt that is it necessary that we should, means in all the cases, ultimate result should be the liquidation of those companies or those assets or those entities. Why not we should give a chance of revival to them? Right? Because if I am ill, it is not necessarily that I'll be, I'm going out of this world now. I'm not going to stay more alive in this world. I have different options, right? Till the time of you are going to the ventilator, there are still chances that you will be alive. And same is with these entities, these stressed assets, that till the time they are, unless and until you don't see any chance of their further recovery, you can always think something positive, right? So that was the reason why this IBC was created, where the procedure involves at that first step would be to revive a company. The revival process should be the first. It is not like that a entity has turned stressed. It is not in position to honor the obligations imposed on it by way of whatever interest or principal repayment. So it should not be liquidated directly. We should give a chance of revival to that entity. Right? This entity can be a company, it can be a limited liability partnership, it can be individual, it can be a partnership firm, it can be a proprietorship firm, any part of that. Right? So that was the need by this. It was felt that there should be some law which should manage and give a chance of revival to these stressed entities. And that by that thought process in mind, IBC 2016 was created. Right? So the prime purpose for which this law was created was to address the NPA, the non-performing assets, right? Because what we call as a distressed entity is when it is not in position to honor the dues, honor the obligations, right? Whether it is in the form of your interest payment or the principal payment. So one of the core objective was to address the NPA, streamlining the insolvency proceedings. Now, prior to this law, we were not having anything in our hand which was governing this insolvency situation, right? Insolvency is a situation where a person is not in position to pay the dues, the situation, right? So prior to this law, we were having small laws, but it was not covering the overall gamut of this insolvency procedures, right? And this was the reason why foreign investors were hesitated in investing in India, right? Because I'm investing in India, and in case the entity in which I have made the investment turns out to be a stressed entity, what recourse I have? If I don't have any recourse, I know that once the money is invested, I don't have any chance of recovery. So I will not be comfortable in investing. And same was with the foreign investors. So that was one of the other reasons why this law was brought into force. Protecting the creditors. Creditors always want the recovery of the money. So this IBC also targeted for the recovery of money. Reviving companies, which to my understanding is one of the most important reasons why this law was brought into force. Because one way or other, any business organization, it is contributing to the national economy, right? So we should give a lease of life to that entity. So there was an intent to revive the companies or the entities. Promoting entrepreneurship. Again, you have to contribute something to the economy. and increasing credit availability. This is by way of the process that is involved in this entire IBC, right? So this was the reason why IBC 2016 was created. If we quickly see the statistics as available through the economic survey of 24-25, quickly I'll read out what are the outcomes of the IBC. So till September 2024, 1068 resolution plan were approved under the code and have resulted in creditors realizing 3.6 lakh crores, 6% against crores, 161% against liquidation, and 86.1% of the fair value. The haircut for the creditors, just a second. The haircut for the creditors relating to the fair value of the asset was found to be around 14%, while relative to their admitted claim, it was around 69%. Further, until September 2024, 79 CDs were closed by sale as a going concern under liquidation. Now, when we talk about the entities sold as a going concern, so it still is like this is the last chance that is taken just before the liquidation. So previously, what we try is to get a resolution plan to revive a company. And then second stage is liquidation. And before even starting the liquidation, a last attempt is made to sell the entity as a going concern. So in that also, IBC has achieved a good results, and 79 corporate debtors were closed by sale as a going concern. They had claims amounting to 1.4 lakh crores as against the liquidation value of 4678.2 crores. Liquidators in these cases realized 3674.1 crore. Until March 2024, 28818 application for initiation of CIRP of CDs having underlying default of 10.2 lakh crores were withdrawn before their admission. Now, when we talk about the withdrawal procedure, their professionals play a very significant role, right? Again, in the process also, yes, they have a very important role to play. But when we talk about the withdrawal process also, they're also a huge part is played by the professional, right? So this is an overall overview about how the IBC has performed from its incorporation, like from 2016. As we know that in between there were 2 years of COVID. So that has to be means taken away, because in that process, in that duration, the initiation of the process was prohibited. So overall, if we see the stats, IBC has performed very well and has resulted in a good amount of recovery in due course. Now, if we talk about the different professionals or institutions that have been involved in IBC. Now, IBC is a law, is a procedure which requires expertise of different type of people, and that too towards different type of people, from the people and towards the people, right? So when we talk about the professional services rendered by the professionals, so first is the insolvency professional, IP, who in due course, when he assumes the position, is known as interim resolution professional or a resolution professional or a liquidator. Right? So he is the key person who manages the entire procedure of IBC, as well as who has to take care of the insolvency process, right? And secondly, he has to ensure that there is a feasible resolution plan. So 2-3 functions have to be done by the insolvency professional in the position either as an interim resolution professional, as a resolution professional, or as a liquidator. Second is the valuer, which to the profession which we all belong to, plays a very, very crucial role in the entire IBC process. Why? Because when we say that, what is the intent of IBC? As I initially said that IBC was created to revive the stressed company. And how that revival process is done? By way of a resolution plan. So there is a stressed entity. It is almost on the deathbed, or in the eyes of the creditor, it is not a feasible position to repay the dues, and CIRP process has been initiated under IBC, right? So now how that entity is revived? By transferring it to some other promoters or the people who are in better position to handle that company. Now, how it will be decided that, yes, now this entity or this group is in better position to handle this company? That is by way of the resolution plan. Right. So as a individual or as a group, I want to take over an X company, which is under IBC. So I will have to demonstrate that how I am going to revive this company, because no one will talk in air like, okay, I want a company worth say 2,000 crore rupees, but in my account, I don't have anything, or I don't have any feasible plan in my mind, right? So there comes the importance of resolution plan. Now, 5 people have given the resolution plan. Now, how that resolution plan will be evaluated? That evaluation is done on the basis of the valuation that has been done by the valuers. So you can understand the importance that a valuer play in this entire process, right? So the valuer has a significant role as well as duty to be performed in the entire procedure. They have to ensure that whatever valuation they are doing, it is an authentic one, it is a reliable one, and in the light of the same, a resolution plan can be actually critically examined. And the fate of the company or the corporate debtor, which is under IBC, can be decided. Now, apart from that, here I'm talking about the valuation that is done through the procedures or through the regulation that have been prescribed. We know Regulation 27, Regulation 35 of CIRP, again Regulation 35 of the liquidation regulation, that require a statutory requirement for the valuation to be done. But is it the only role that we are playing? No. Let's see what other opportunities are available. Valuation has to be done in accordance with the law. Law says that a registered valuer will be appointed by an insolvency professional, a resolution professional basically, within 7 days of his appointment or 47th day from the insolvency commencement date. And he has to do the valuation. Regulation 35 says that you have to find a fair value and a liquidation value. This is the role which the law has prescribed, right? Now, we know that these procedures, because these are code-driven procedures, they take their time, right? Now, valuation has been done in accordance with law. Actual time of evaluation has now come in. Suppose that the company or the corporate debtor is under liquidation. Can you decide the reserve price based on that valuation that has been done, right? So many a time, valuers are appointed as other support professionals for doing the market discovery of price. Very important role which is being played by the valuers these days as a support professional, where they help the RP or the liquidator in finding out the price, actually means what you call as the recovery price, right? Price recovery mechanism. Valuers play a very significant role in that. Third situation, a resolution applicant is there who is submitting a resolution plan, right? As a valuer who has been appointed under the law, you are appointed through the RP, you have an access to all the information. But as a resolution applicant, I have to prepare a resolution plan. What will be the basis of my designing that resolution plan? How will I quote how much I am going to pay for this company, because I don't have any access to the valuation? And there comes the actual, the expertise of the valuers. Because you don't have a set of information and you have to serve your client by helping him to understand that a company he is going to acquire, and now what amount he should decide to pay for that. And that is where the resolution value comes, resolution plan value comes. Again, a very important role that is being played by the valuers in this process by giving a valuation to the resolution applicant, right? Then comes the lawyers. Lawyers, in all cases, have a very important role, right? From the start of the procedure till the end of the procedure, because IBC is one area which is prone to litigations. Number of litigations are there. So lawyers have their own role to play, right? When you are working at the end of the corporate debtor, you have to defend the corporate debtor from being admitted to IBC. When you are acting on the creditor side, you have to support their claim for admitting the corporate debtor into the IBC procedures. Then there are resolution applicants are there. There might be their plan is not accepted. Someone's claim has not been accepted. So in all such cases, lawyers have a very important role to play under IBC. Then comes the support service providers, the tax expert, the accounts expert, the surveyors, the actuarials, then engineers are there who are, suppose as a resolution applicant, I want to acquire a company, the company has some land building, right? Which I have to decide what value I'm going to place. What is the condition? Then what if suppose I take this company, obviously those buildings will not be in very good conditions. If I have to renovate them, how much amount I have to invest? So they're all such situations, all such decisions are taken through the support service providers. So support service providers are playing a dual role. They are also giving support services to the resolution applicants. They are also giving support services to the resolution profession. Then committee of creditors, they have the role to decide about the resolution plan because they are the people whose amount, whose money is stuck up in that company, and they want to get a best plan to ensure the maximum recovery of their money. So these are the different professionals that are involved in this entire process. If we talk about the services which are rendered, which can be rendered under IBC, so we have the IRP, RP, liquidators. So a insolvency professional can act as an interim resolution professional, as a resolution professional, as a liquidator, or as a representative to the class of the creditors. Okay? Then other support services include the claim verification team. When insolvency proceeding starts, the claims are invited from the general public. Now that has to be examined whether this claim is actual or not, or what should be the actual admissible amount. I can say that I have to recover 10 lakh rupees, but I don't have documents to support that I have to take 10 lakh rupees. So that verification that what you have said and what is the actual amount, what is the admissible amount, that is a very big work in this area, right? Associate analysts are there. Corporate restructuring is to be done. If as a resolution applicant, I want to acquire a company, then it is not because it is already a stressed entity. I have to restructure it. So there comes the role of the restructuring professionals. Legal support is always there. Transaction audit or forensic audit. Frequently, on the order of the court, you have to get a forensic audit done to find out that what is the condition, what are the transactions that has been undertaken by the corporate debtor, just to siphon off either the money or the assets. So for that purpose, transaction audit or forensic audits are done. And then comes the consultancy services, which can be rendered depending on the type of the entity that is under IBC. If we talk about the real estate companies, you know what roles the engineers has or the architects have to play in that in case they are working as a consultant to a resolution applicant who is planning to acquire a particular project. You will be the best person to advise them whether first step is whether they should go for this company or not, what price should be there, what are the technicalities are there, what are the legal hassles that can be faced in case they acquire this project. So huge amount of opportunities are available as a consultant, right? To the extent I understand in our target audience, what we are here today, there are engineers, there are chartered accountants, company secretaries, mechanical engineers, architects. We have a pool of all those. So accordingly, we can understand the consultancy services that we can provide. Same services can be provided to resolution applicant, to the corporate debtor, to the resolution professional, to the liquidators. Right? So when we talk about the consultancy services, depending on the industry or the segment in which the particular corporate debtor is operating, huge opportunities are again available to any professional who is related to that particular industry. Now, after discussing this all, I would like to introduce a course that is being proposed to be launched by IOV RVF, which is a certificate course on IBC. Now, in the market, you must be thinking that why this course, why IOV is launching a new course. There are a number of courses in the market. But this course has been designed in a very different manner. And I'll help you understand that why this course is unique and different from the other courses. Right? This course is particularly meant for the valuers and their staff. So if you are a registered valuer in any of the asset category, it is very useful for you because please trust me, IBC is a very paying segment as well as a litigation prone segment. So you need to be aware about the terms, the intricacies that are involved in the IBC code, right? So it is very important and useful for the valuers as well as their staff. Then for the bankers who are lending money, who are the part of the committee of creditors. Let me see, some questions are there. Okay, you are saying, can you please repeat which course? So this is a certificate course which is being launched by IOV RB, which is IBC certificate course, and it has been designed in a very different manner. Soon you will receive the announcement of the same. I am here to get that introduction work for you, that why this course is launched, what is the structure of this course, and how this course is going to be useful for all of you, right? So first, as I told you, that this course is meant for the valuers and their staff. So if you are a valuer, you are providing valuation services, it is very useful for you. How, that I'll discuss in due course in the coming slides. Second, if you are a banker, right? In any form, whether you are from a nationalized bank, whether you are from private bank, you are from NBFC, you are from asset reconstruction company, in any way, or otherwise you have a client of those, right? You have any bank as your client, you have any NBFC as your client, which is funding to such stressed entities. Then comes the lawyers. So I have already discussed that lawyers play again a very important role in this process. So if if I have to count that the 4 pillars, like usually we say that if we talk about the entire IBC is based on 4 pillars. It is insolvency professional, then comes your this adjudicating authority, then your the regulator, and the information utilities. These are the 4 pillars. But if we talk about the professionals, if we talk in terms of the professional, the 4 pillars of the professionals that are involved in IBC. So it is the valuer, the insolvency professional, the support service providers, and the lawyers. These are the 4 professionals without whose contribution an IBC procedure initiated under this code cannot be a success, right? So third category that this course is meant for is the lawyers. Then we have the professionals, which is the other support service provider. So previously we have just discussed, we had a glimpse about how the other professionals, or as a professional, you can provide certain services to the corporate debtor or the resolution applicant in the form of consultants. Apart from that, support services are also provided to the resolution professionals, the RPs, or the liquidators. How? As I discussed, the claim verification. Just I'm giving, for example, one area is claim verification. As an RP, has a number of duties you have to perform. You have to ensure that your entity is a going concern. You have to ensure that all compliances are being done in time. You have to ensure that you get a resolution plan in proper time. You have to evaluate those resolution applicants as well as a resolution plan. In that process, you have to get yourself involved in the procedural aspects like claim verifications, then different advertisements are to be published. All those things, if you get involved, obviously the other works get suffered. So usually the resolution professionals, RPs, or the liquidators, they sublet this work to the support service provider. So support service provider is also playing a very prominent role these days. And again, trust me, it is one of the very important area and the lucrative area under IBC. And then comes the final year student. So obviously as a student, if you or your near ones, it is not only for you, this all belongs also to someone who is close to you. If you are valuer and you are here only as a valuer, you may be having some friend who is a lawyer, who is another professionals, or some of your relatives or known one who are the final year students of the degree courses like law, finance, CA, CS, engineering. For them also this course is very useful. How? When I'll explain the structure, it all will be very clear that why we are saying that all these professionals can get benefited by doing this course. Now, why one should pursue this course? So here we are going to provide you an in-depth knowledge of the code. As a valuer, when you did your MEP, you also know that that time you were having a number of things to study. IBC was a small part of that. But when you come into profession, IBC is the biggest part of your work, right? Because as on date, if we talk about the career paths, IBC is one of the most prominent area in which the valuers are working, right? So here you get the in-depth knowledge of the code. When you are having the knowledge of the code, you can provide your services not only as a valuer, but you can give a number of value-added services to the RP as well as to your client. Better understanding of the roles and responsibilities. You are a professional which has been given some sanctity from the law. Your existence has come from a law, which is Companies Act 2013. So accordingly, you have been casted with certain rules and responsibilities. So this course will help you understand those rules and responsibilities, and understanding that will help you avoid litigations. If you go by the recent times, if you see the IBBI judgments, there are a number of judgments which has gone against the valuers. Why? Because of the lack of the knowledge. You were not having idea about what are the intricacies, what are the soft points or the hitting points under IBC, which you should have been cautious while doing the work under IBC. So this course will help you to have an idea about that. And when you are aware about the law, the roles and responsibilities, then obviously you will be in much better position to provide a better services, either as a valuer or as a lawyer or as any other professional or in the category of the support service. Enhanced career prospects. Obviously, when you are having an added knowledge of law and the procedures, that is going to be a plus thing for your career. And better job and practice opportunity, obviously, because if as a professional, if I'm simply a chartered accountant and I'm having this much level of knowledge, so obviously I can give a much better advice to my clients, right? Instead of having just a superficial knowledge, if I'm having a detailed understanding of the code, the intricacies that are involved, that is obviously going to give a better practice opportunity to me. Now, coming to the course, now this course has been designed in 5 modules, right? 5 modules are there. You can take up all the 5 modules, or you can go by the 2 module route. First module is mandatory for everyone, whoever undertakes this course. Why it is mandatory and why it has been made mandatory, that also I'll explain. And remaining 4 modules are optional. If you want, you can get yourself enrolled for all the 4 modules, or you can choose the module of your choice. It will be a weekend learning. So weekends will be decided. Friday, Saturday, or Saturday, Sunday will be your course dates. 2 hours per day. Just 2 hours you have to give, and you will be an expert in IBC. Total learning hours in that process comes to 24, but I have mentioned it 24 plus 1. Why? Because in this, we are also planning to give a moot meetings. Why? As a valuer, right now I'm talking with the context of the valuers only. As a valuer, now you know, previously what was the law? Previously the law said that as a valuer will be appointed by an RP. He will do the valuation, he will submit the report to the RP, and his role is over. What are the amended laws from current year? The amended law says that now a RP will arrange a meeting of the valuer with the COC. Right? So now before you give that report, you will be called to meet the COC. Now COC, you know, COC can be a single one, or there can be 10 COC members or 15 COC members. And they will all have the knowledge about the code. They will all have the knowledge about the valuation. And you have to answer their questions in that meeting. Their issues, you have to help them explain that how this valuation has been done. What are the methods? Kindly allow me to see the question, if any is. I think there has been some. Okay, sorry. Right? So you have to explain them everything. How this valuation has been done, because it is prior to your final report submission. So you have to be ready to interact for such interaction with COC. what we are planning in this course is that we will give you an insight that how these COC meetings are conducted, how a valuer should attend that meeting, what are the probable questions that may be asked by the COC, and how you should present your report or your valuation exercise before that COC. So this is a unique feature of this course, which we intend to provide to you, right? Because that interaction requires your knowledge as well as your presentation skill. So our expert panel will help you understand that how that has to be handled by you. Now, if we talk about the course objectives, so this intent of this course is to provide an understanding of the provisions of the Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code 2016 along with the rules and regulations to facilitate an understanding for practical implementation of the provision of IBC. Now, law is there, but still there, and obviously each and every valuer who is going to be a registered valuer and who is doing a valuation is aware of the law. Then why so many proceedings are happening against the valuers? It is because you know the law, but you don't know how to practically implement it. In this course, we will help you to understand the practical implementation. It is not going to be a general course where you have to just, you will be provided with that, okay, this is the law, this is regulation number so and so, and this is so and so. That will be there. What I'm talking about, the mandatory module, in that we will help you understand what is the law. But in the remaining modules, we will help you understand how to implement that law, which is the most important thing which a professional should know. Whether you are a valuer, whether you are an insolvency professional, whether you are a lawyer, whether you are a COC, you are a service provider, you have to know how you have to implement the provisions of this law, right? So it will help you to understand the practical implementation of the provisions of IBC along with the rules and regulation. It will help you to have an interpretation and understanding of the judicial pronouncement. Now, for the different modules that we have provided, we will be covering the case laws related to that. Because law says something, and then there is an apex code which has given some decision. Now, how the law has to be interpreted in the light of that judicial pronouncement, that also will help you understand, right? To equip so as to able in providing supporting services to the insolvency profession. So as I told you, that whether you are a valuer, whether you are from any other profession, you can always be a very rich source of providing support services to the insolvency profession. So that also we will help you understand by way of our specially designed modules, that how you can provide the support services and what precautions or what are the skills that are required by you to give the support services. So the course highlights is that we are having eminent faculties. They will be IBBI ex-officios, the bankers, insolvency professionals, the valuers, the lawyers, the leading law firms will be there, who will help you understand about these course and each module. There will be case studies, there will be moot COC meetings and practical exposures. So our faculties will be having all those practical knowledge, and they will share their experience, their insights, that when you are handling a particular matter, what precautions should be taken by you in handling the cases or the assignments related to IBC. Then we will also provide you assignments so as to understand that how much you have taken from our lectures. Right? So there will be assignments to enhance the understanding, and there will be participative discussions. We will be providing you the learning materials. There will be recorded lectures, and then there will be discussion forums. So you can have an interaction with the faculty as well as your co-professionals, and you can get an insight, can share your views, seek an understanding from other schools. So that is how this course is proposed to be delivered in this particular certificate course. Now, if we talk about the contents of the course, so first module, which I told you is going to be a mandatory one. So module 1 is the introduction, because first we need to know the law, and then only we can understand how it has to be implemented. So the knowledge of the law, that we are going to give in module number 1. That's why we have made it mandatory, because if you are going by other modules and you don't know this particular module, you have not attended this module, then it is of no use. Practical application can only be useful when you know the law behind that, right? So we are having the module number 1, which is about the introduction of this course. And in this, we will be having 4 days, 4 weekends, 4 days will be there, 2 each week. So first week, Saturday, Sunday, and second week, Saturday, Sunday, 2 hours per day. And in that, day 1 will be introduction to IBC, the need, evolution, framework, objectives, and applicability. And then we will have an idea about the personal insolvency. Now, this is again something very interesting. As of now, personal insolvency has not yet come into practically into force. But once it comes in, there will be a huge shoot of work. Right? So we will help you understand what personal insolvency is all about, concept, law, and applicability. Then day 2, again, it will be 2 hours. And in that, we will understand the CIR, what the law says, what the code says about CIRP, what the regulation says. So understanding the meaning, the important terms that have been used, frequently used terms, the procedure, overview of the code, regulation, along with the important case laws. So that will be our syllabus for day 2. Then we will have day 3, where it will be again of 2 hours. There we will understand the liquidation. What is the meaning? What are the frequently used terms? What is the procedure? What is the code? What the code says about it? The rules and regulation, along with again the case laws. Day number 4 will be 2 hours again, where we will have an interface of different laws with IBC. Now, as we discussed when I started this presentation, that previously we were having number of laws. Then why was the need of IBC? So in this process, we will compare that law. What were the previous requirements? What are the IBC requirements? How can you decide which is better for you? Right? So interface of different laws with IBC, where IBC has in one way or other casting any shadow on any other law. So that all will be discussed on the day 4, which will be of 2 hours. Now module 2. Module 2 will be IBC for valuers. So we have taken up the different professionals and we have a specially designed modules for each set of professionals. So now suppose as a valuer, you only want to know valuation aspect. So you can go back module 1 plus module 2, where module 2 will be IBC for valuers, where we will understand the practical implementation of the law by our expert faculties who have handled the assignments under IBC. Right. So here it will be day 1 will be of 2 hours. We will understand appointment of valuers and valuation. What is the law and what is the practical aspect? Valuation in IBC, what are the challenges? What are the precautions in taking assignment? Something very, very important. We take the assignment and then we regret. So what precautions you should bear in your mind when you are taking this assignment, that will be discussed. Then interaction with RP or the liquidator. Now, as a valuer, you have taken the assignment, but now you have to interact with RP or the liquidator. How that interaction should be done? What are the key things that you should keep in mind while interacting with the RP or the liquidator? Then comes the documentation requirement. You have taken the assignment, it's fine. How the documentation has to be maintained, how the report has to be drafted. What are the challenges in drafting that report? How to present valuation report before COC. So now at this juncture, it is not only about doing the valuation and drafting the report and submitting the same. Now, one more added part is presentation of that valuation report before the COC. As I told you, that the amended law requires a COC meeting to be conducted with the valuers. So there you have to present your valuation report. So how that has to be done? How to prepare for and face COC queries, which is the most biggest problem that is being faced by the valuers these days. They are not having idea about what they are going to ask. So there are certain specific questions, means you need to understand their mindset, and that our expert faculty will help you understand that how you should prepare and how you should face the COC queries. Then post-valuation challenges. You have done the valuation, the work has been done from your end, you have presented it, you have drafted the report, you have done the presentation, done the final submission. But what about the post-valuation challenges litigations? That also we will cover here. What are the situations in which you can get a show cause notice? How to respond to that? What are the precautions to be taken in drafting the replies? That will be explained. Then there will be an assignment given to you. And day 2 will be about the case study, practical aspects, and then the assignment discussion. So our expert eminent faculties will share their practical experience relating to a particular case that they have handled. And then what assignment has been given to you, that will be discussed and analyzed, right? So that is module number 2, IBC for values. Please remember, if you want to only go by this module for values, then module 1 is always a mandatory one. You cannot undertake any other module without, because that is something very practical. If you don't know the law, how you are going to implement it. And that is the reason the module 1 has been made mandatory. Then we have module number 3, which is IBC for COC, Committee of Creditors, right? So here, how the decision will be taken by the to take a corporate debtor to IBC, what are the other laws that are available, how a banker should decide whether he should go for IBC or any other law, how the composition of COC is done, what is the law requirement, what are the claim priority, how the selection of IP will be done, what are the voting powers, commercial wisdom, haircuts, responsibilities, powers and challenges, COC relation with RP and valuers, evaluation of resolution plan, because a resolution plan is prepared by a resolution applicant, submitted to resolution plan professional, but finally it has to be analyzed by the COC. COC have to take a final call whether they want to, which plan they want to approve, right? So that decision, how that is taken, decision of enforcement, relinquishment of rights during the liquidation. Now, for the COC, many a time a situation comes where they have to take a call whether they will be going for the enforcement of security interest or they are going to relinquish it. What should be the basis of taking that decision? And then again, there will be an assignment. Day 2 will be the case study and the assignment discussion. So this is IBC for the COC. As I told you that all the modules are open for everyone. More expertise you want, more of the modules you should select. Because when we are talking about the COC, let's understand why it is important for the values also. Because when you will attend this course, you will understand the mindset of the COC, how COC functions, because that will help you to handle that particular meeting where you have to answer to the queries. Because if any objectionable thing has been said by you, COC will take you either to the IBBI or it will take you to the court. Your valuation will be challenged. So understanding the COC mindset is equally important. That's why we have designed this course so in such a manner that it can be adopted or it can be undergone by anyone who wants to understand the IBC. But still, if anyone wants to be very particular, very specific, then they can go by the module-specific courses. Then module 4 is IBC for the lawyers. So here you are going to understand the litigation part. And the litigation part starts on the very first day when an application is submitted. Even when there is a plan to submit an application, from there the role of the lawyer starts, right? So what are the litigations under IBC? What type of litigation happens? Here we are going to cover every type of litigation, including the litigation relating to values, litigation relating to the IPs, litigation relating to the service provider. Everything will be covered here. So litigation under IBC, it includes both CIRP as well as the liquidation. Services provided by the lawyers to the RP, liquidator, COC, resolution applicant, bidder, promoter, operational creditors. So a lot of services can be given by the lawyers to different type of people. Again, we discussed initially that consultancy services is an area which is open to all the professionals, right? Legal counsel and advisory role, then preparing and filing of petitions, representing clients, negotiating with the creditors, how to file case in NCLT, NCLAT, Supreme Court, the procedural part. Now, many of our lawyer friends, they want to take up the practice under NCLT because, trust me, NCLT, NCLAT is an area, the corporate law is an area which is very remunerative as compared to the normal litigations. But how you have to enter there, right? So that is this particular module we are going to, it will be delivered by very eminent lawyers who will help you understand that how IBC can be used by the lawyer as one of their core area of practice. So there will be again an assignment, case study, and assignment discussion. So if you want, as a valuer, that you want to go by all the modules, it is open for you. If you want to be very selective, you can go by the selective modules. If you have friends whom you can suggest, whom you know that they are, suppose you have a friend who is a lawyer who wants to enter into corporate practice. So this is the stepping stone for entering into the corporate litigations. So you can advise them to go by this course because lawyers are not aware about the IBC practice. Right? So here they will understand the law as well as the procedures that are involved under the IBC. Then we have module number 5, which is IBC for support service. Right? So as I told you that consultancy service is open for all the professionals. So here comes the role of support service. Right? So it is again for 2 days, 2 hours each. So first day, 2 hours will be role of professionals under IBC, CIRP and liquidation. Support services to the resolution professional, to the liquidator, to the committee of creditors, claim management, asset sales support, compliance support, services to resolution applicant in CIRP and bidder in the liquidation, resolution plan, valuation, negotiation. So as I told you that here again, under the support services, the valuer have a very important role to play in giving your opinion, in giving your consultancy services to the corporate debtor as well as to the resolution, prospective resolution applicants or the resolution applicants, right? Forensic audit, price discovery, filing of returns, preparation of financial statements, process advisory, staff outsourcing. Now, many of the times it happens that insolvency professional has a number of work to do. So they do undertake all the work themselves. They outsource number of works. So depending again on the type of the sector in which the particular corporate debtor is, there is an immense scope for the support service provider. Then implementation of resolution. So it is not only that until the IBC procedure is there, you have got a resolution plan has been approved and now it's all over. No. Once a resolution plan has been approved, it has to be implemented. And that implementation process takes 2 years, 3 years, and so on. Right. So the persons who have been involved in that procedure are the best person to help in the implementation of that. And trust me, number of professionals are getting opportunities in the post IBC work also, where the implementation process starts. Same way, suppose a liquidation has been done, someone has taken a particular asset. Obviously, they have taken that particular asset or stressed entity for further revival. So in that process, again, they need the services of the professional. And who are the better professionals than who have been already involved in that procedures, right? So the restructuring, there the restructuring work comes, right? So the support service provider are again playing a very important role in this entire procedure. So day 2 will be again a case study and assignment discussion. So we have 5 modules. As I told you, first module is mandatory, where we will help you understand about IBC, right? From everything, right? From the reason why this IBC came into the picture, along with all the law, rules, and regulations. Then we have 4 modules. Module 1 is for the lawyers. Module 2 is for, Module 2 is for the lawyers. Module 3 is for the COC. Module 4 is for the lawyers, and module 5 is for the support service provider. Now, as I told you that all the modules are open for everyone. You want to gain knowledge because, as I told you, all are interconnected, right? If you are a valuer, you have equal opportunity in providing support services. You have equal opportunity in getting associated with the committee of creditors. Now, let's come to that point. A COC is there. Suppose there's a bank which has to evaluate a resolution plan. How that resolution plan will be evaluated? It will be evaluated in the light of valuation report that has been done by some other professional. Do you think that the bankers are having that idea to analyze that valuation report, compare the resolution plan, and then come to a conclusion? No. They again take the services of the professional. And there again, an independent valuer is appointed to examine that valuation report. And on base of that, even the valuation reports are challenged. So again, in that process, you have again immense scope. If you know how the COC functions, how the COC interacts, it is again an open area for you. Same with the lawyers. I'm talking about the lawyers to practice in NCLT, right? Can the lawyers just think at the base, bottom line? Can the lawyers understand the valuation? Suppose the client says that we want to challenge the valuation, right? We think that the valuation is not correct. Many of the cases it has happened, you must be aware. A portal case, one of the most important case which I always quote. There, the entire litigation was based on this, that the valuation has not been done properly. Now, in that process, how the lawyers will file the case? Unless and until they have someone to guide them on the valuation. So one way or other, all these 5 modules are interconnected to each other. So my humble suggestion is go by all the 5 modules. In case you have friends who you think, because as a valuer, my understanding, because this course has been designed keeping in mind the values. Most important, the first priority is are our valuers. We want to equip them with sufficient knowledge. We don't want them to get into any legal hassles. And at the same time, we want them to have a sufficient exposure and sufficient work in their hand. That can be only possible if you have the entire idea about IBC. And at the same time, if you have certain friends whom you can recommend this course for the module specific, that will be again something very good. And it will be helpful for you as well because you get collaborated with those professionals, right? So these are the 5 modules which we have designed in our this IBC certification course. In case you want more details, you can contact at our email ID, which is pro@iovrvf.org. Whatever queries are there, you can forward your queries and we will be more than happy to answer your queries and help you understand and get enrolled in this. Right? So in this, in case you have any questions, any discussion, because this is completely sir, what is the price of each module? That will be shared to you once you send your expression of interest. And we'll be also coming out with the details about the pricing. Vishesh, do you have the price of the modules in your hand? Someone from IOV? Someone from IOV?
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
So someone is asking about the price of the module. Have you finalized it and you have in your hand?
Not right now. I have the brochure is getting ready, so we'll
Okay.
be able to share it to everyone by tomorrow.
Okay.
Yeah.
So all that entire detail will be shared to you as soon as this brochure is finalized.
Correct.
And any exam like in this course, yes, there will be an assessment test. So that will be simple MCQ, and plus we will be having assignment based discussion, and final certificate will be issued on the basis of the same, right? What a small test of online test of MCQ plus the assignments that you have done in this course, right? Any other questions? So I have shared. Yes, Mr. Dhananjay, you want to ask something? I think you have raised your hand. Mr. Naidu. So you want to ask anything? You can unmute yourself or you can drop a message. Can you provide the PDF so that we can go? Definitely, we will provide you the PDF. You can have an idea in case you have any questions. You can just revert it. We have provided the email ID. You can write your queries, whatever you further information you want. And meanwhile, we are in process of finalizing the brochures, and that will be distributed to all of you along with this presentation. Right?
Also, this video will be also available in your member profile. So anytime if anyone have any query or want to refer back to this session, they can go and check the videos.
Okay, that's great. That is an added advantage to you. So this sounds really interesting and will help. Definitely, sir, it is going to immensely, I would say not only increasing the valuation business, I would add one more word, safe valuation business. When you are aware about the law, then only the practical implementation, you can do what you call it, the bindas working. That case only you can do when you are having, when you know what are the, what are the challenges that are involved and how to face those challenges. And that is what we are going to provide you by way of the interactive sessions, by way of our eminent faculties who have practically handled the cases, and by way of the mood meetings, right? Definitely. Great, Mr. Raja. We also thought that this is much needed because we have recent times seen that number of cases are being initiated against valuers, and that is probably because of the lack of knowledge. And this is what we want to provide you in this particular course. And that is the intent. Our always intent is to help you to get your best professional outputs. And that is the reason why this course has been designed for you specifically. Right? So in that case, we will be sharing the presentation and the brochures. We have the mail ID, so that all will be circulated. In case any other questions you have, you can just mail it on the given email ID, right? So Vishesh, we can close the session. Will it be through PDF, through mail, or WhatsApp? Regarding your these presentations? Presentation will be through the mail. It will be sent to the course. Course will be, sir, completely on online mode. Course details, yes, it will be provided you through the emails. Just in case any query you have, you drop us a mail, and accordingly we will revert you on that mail. Right?
Yeah, it will be available on the website also. So you can go through the website. We'll send a mail to everyone.
Okay, that's great. Right? So at any point of time, please feel free to connect with us. And as again, I'm telling you, this is going to be immensely beneficial for your safe valuation. I will always add the word safe, because the problem with us is that we are having knowledge of the valuation. We are very good in valuation, but we are not having knowledge about the legalities, complexities that are involved, plus the practical aspect. So that will be very beneficial for you, right? So thank you so much for being a part of this session. Thanks.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Anuradha. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'll end this session.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
Thank you.